Join me as I dive deep into the chilling world of teen murders, exploring the dark side of true crime that most people don't want to talk about. True crime has become an obsession for many, with podcasts, documentaries, and streaming services cashing in on our morbid curiosity. But when it comes to teen murders, we're faced with a unique set of circumstances that reveal the darker implications of this growing fascination. The way we consume information about teen murders can be downright disturbing. We're bombarded with sensationalized headlines, dramatic recreations, and salacious details that reduce these tragic events to mere entertainment. It's easy to get caught up in the drama, but we need to take a step back and examine the impact this has on our collective psyche. Think about it, when we tune into true crime podcasts or watch crime documentaries, we're essentially rubbernecking at someone else's tragedy. We're inviting the darkness into our living rooms, and it's changing the way we perceive the world, and the people in it. By perpetuating this appetite for true crime, we're creating a culture that sensationalizes violence and normalizes the exploitation of victims and their families. Moreover, the media's portrayal of teen murders can be incredibly misleading. We're often fed a narrative that these crimes are committed by bad seeds or monsters rather than complex human beings with their own struggles and motivations. This oversimplification not only perpetuates harmful stereotypes but also distracts us from the underlying societal issues that contribute to these tragedies. One of the most troubling aspects of true crime is the way it can turn victims into mere footnotes in a larger narrative. We become so fixated on the killer's backstory, their motivations, and their crimes that we forget about the real people who lost their lives. We forget about the families who are left to pick up the pieces, to grieve, and to try to make sense of the senseless. Let's take a closer look at some specific cases that illustrate the complexities of teen murders. The case of the Slender Man stabbing, for instance, is a prime example of how societal influences can contribute to violence. Two 12-year-old girls stabbed their friend in an attempt to appease the fictional character Slender Man, highlighting the blurring of lines between reality and fantasy. Another case is the murder of 14-year-old Shonda Scherer, who was brutally killed by a group of teenage girls in 1992. This case is particularly disturbing because it shows how peer pressure, bullying, and a desire for popularity can escalate into violence. The media's portrayal of this case often focuses on the perceived wild child nature of the perpetrators, rather than examining the systemic failures that contributed to the tragedy. Then there's the case of the Columbine Massacre, which is often cited as one of the most influential school shootings in American history. What's often overlooked, however, is the fact that the perpetrators were not just loner outcasts but rather complex individuals with their own struggles, desires, and motivations. By examining the societal factors that contributed to this tragedy, we can gain a deeper understanding of the roots of violence. One pivotal moment that really stuck with me was when I came across an interview with the family member of a teen murder victim. They spoke candidly about the emotional toll that the true crime industry takes on them, about how they feel exploited and re-traumatized every time a new documentary or podcast comes out. It was a sobering reminder that these cases aren't just entertainment, they're real people's lives. The dark side of true crime and teen murders is a complex, multifaceted issue that reveals the darker aspects of human nature. By acknowledging the complexities and consequences of our fascination with true crime, we can begin to create a culture that values empathy, compassion, and understanding. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the darker side of true crime. If you've got thoughts on this topic, share them with me in the comments below. And if you want to explore more related themes, be sure to check out my next video, where we'll be diving deeper into the world of true crime.